Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. My guest today is Nicole Derseweh. She's going to be making vegan shiitake gyoza. Please welcome her to the show. Hi, it's so nice to meet you, Nicole.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on, Chef AJ. It's a real honor.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'd love to. I see you're holding a beautiful book with a beautiful cover. If you want, you can start by talking about that.
Yeah, so this is my cookbook, the Vegan Ketogenic Diet Book. It's available on Amazon. I co-authored it with Whitney Lauritsen, and there's 75 plant-based recipes in here that are all whole foods, plant-based, and low-carb, high-fat. I'm using healthy fats like avocados and nuts for an anti-inflammatory diet that is really great for mental clarity and stamina.
Wow, that's great because I actually follow the opposite, which is low fat, high carb. So why would somebody want to do a vegan ketogenic diet?
This is really good for a short-term plan. I really like this if you're having like a major inflammatory disease, something that's coming up for you, or if you're a high performance athlete and for a limited time you want to eat this way to achieve, the recovery process is much faster, so they can train really hard for like a short period of time to go on a diet like this. It's really helpful. Also, people that are just looking to drop weight in kind of a more rapid way, if they want to do this for a concentrated month and then just taper into a carb life afterwards. That's how I use it. I know there's some people that are keto all the time. I don't really recommend that because the brain loves carbohydrates. But for a limited time, it's great, and you could get a lot of health benefits from it and get the inflammation in the body down. So yeah, this is here. Yeah.
Thank you. How did you first get introduced to a vegan or a plant-based diet?
So it's amazing, actually. My grandmother, who I named my nonprofit after, which I'll tell you about later, her name's Martha Ann, and she struggled with cancer, and she's my favorite person in the entire world. And I started researching ways to help her because after the second round of chemo, the cancer is coming back. I was like, I feel like we're not doing something right. I really want to do a deeper dive with the research and figure out what's going on with Martha Ann. And one research led to another. I was in college I didn't even have my own computer. I was just at the computer lab, like trying to figure that. And eventually it just was like plant-based. And, even then we didn't have the word plant-based, we said vegan. And it was a vegan diet could really help dramatically change, her path with this cancer and help her heal. So I found that out for her. It wasn't really in time to save her life. She ended up passing. But I said, well, if you could, heal cancer with eating plants, why don't we just prevent it? And so I got me and my sister on a vegan diet. And, that was 12 years ago. And it's been the best thing I've ever done in my life.
That's fantastic. Were you always somebody who loved to cook?
Yeah, I went to Cordon Bleu right out of college, and I was studying to be a chef, and I did business school and I studied to be a chef. But my grandma's also the reason why I love to cook. She was from Savannah, Georgia. She was a restaurant brat. They had a restaurant in the South that would feed widows and soldiers for free when they came back. And she was like a big, just cornerstone of the community. So my grandma was an incredible chef, but she always did that Southern comfort thing where like there was no vegetable that ever started without bacon in the bottom of the pan. I never had a green bean that didn't taste like bacon until I got to college. So, her heart was always in the right place and all the love was there. She just didn't have all the information that I have now to share with everyone.
That's great. That is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do with your nonprofit?
So my nonprofit is called the Martha Project. I named it after my grandma. This is our swag mug. I don't know if you could see it on camera, but we feed plant-based meals to the houseless community here in Los Angeles. And to date, we've served over 10,000 vegan meals to the houseless community here, all cooked with love, with organic ingredients from scratch in eco-friendly packaging. And when we go out, we don't just hand out the food. The food's really just a vehicle for connection. I think the thing that they're starving for the most is being acknowledged as humans and us just taking a moment to make eye contact and say, I love you. We've been thinking about you. We care about you. We're the Martha Project. And of course, we made you a plant-based meal because that is the most loving food for the planet and for your body. and it's done really well. We were on the Rachel Ray show in June, and Rachel Ray was crying. She just like loved the whole story. And it's going really well. And to date, we're actually talking to local government officials here to change the food supply in Los Angeles, in my district anyway. It's going to be the starter, to having a plant-based meal rollout for the houseless community, because well, obviously it's better for their health. It's more supportive of your mental health to eat vegan, which the houseless community really needs. But it's also a more cost-effective way to feed people, and it's better for the environment. And California, we're about to go into a drought. It's also much more water efficient to feed plant-based. So these government officials are really looking at it, and they're actually super excited and interested. So hopefully that we're going to be able to partner with the city of Los Angeles to roll the Martha Project out in a bigger way.
That's so cool. Where do you prepare the meals, like somewhere and then deliver them? Like, how does it work exactly?
Yeah, so they're all prepared here in my home kitchen that you guys are seeing now. I have like a vintage stove. It's incredible. We make 300 meals per hand out here. I have pop-up tails with Bunsen burners. What's that word? Bunsen burners. And the volunteers come over. We get all the food from the downtown produce market and bring it in. And we spend a day chopping and preparing. And then the morning of, they come and we actually cook the food, package it in eco-friendly packaging. And we are street warriors. We go directly to the encampments. A lot of the houseless community have mobility issues, or they don't have access to the internet to figure out where these resources are actually being handed out. So we bring it directly to them, directly to the encampment.
That's so cool. Like, what kind of meals have you made, and did they enjoy them?
Oh my gosh, they love them. So we've done the love burrito a couple times. That's super popular, and it's like a black bean burrito with cauliflower rice, avocado, sauteed vegetables, chipotle sauce that we make from scratch with a vegan sour cream made out of cashew. That one was super popular. We've done a meze plate where we've made falafel from scratch, and we've had like a really beautiful Mediterranean salad and a hummus and some olives. What else have we done? Well, for Thanksgiving, we do a full Thanksgiving spread with the sweet potatoes and the cranberry sauce and everything. I mean, we really love to get creative and pair the menu with the season. So it's a season appropriate. And our goal is always to serve them something that you and I would pay, $25 a plate for if we went to a high-end restaurant in Los Angeles. That's the standard of love that we want to pay forward for them. So it's always been really beautiful.
Do you go to deliver the food? Are they all in one location? Or, like, I'm curious how, because I'd love to see this in action. I used to live in LA and volunteer at the rescue mission. So how do they find you, or do you find them?
We find them. So we have volunteers mapping on Google Maps, dropping pins where we find encampments the week leading up to the handout. And so these pins are delivered. And so then it's kind of a divide and conquer. Once we get all the meals divided into the different vehicles, then each person takes a pin and goes to that location and directly gives it to the encampment. So a lot of times these are under underpasses or parks that have like big encampments. We just go to where the encampments are.
That's very cool. Do you have, did you ever film any of this? I know you said you're on Rachel Ray, but could somebody like see this in action? Because that sounds pretty amazing.
Absolutely. We have a video on the website, which is a compilation of the footage that we've taken, and also Rachel Ray's team has taken, because she did a full segment on us, almost like a mini doc. And it's still on the Rachel Ray YouTube channel, and also at the marthaproject.org. You can see it there on my website.
Well, please make sure you give me all these links and I can add them to the show notes, because
absolutely.
I think it's fabulous. Did any of the, I assume that most of the people were grateful for getting delicious food, but did any of them complain that there was no meat in that burrito?
Very rarely. And a lot of times, I would tell people we're not a vegan evangelist team. So sometimes we wouldn't even mention that, because people have a preconceived idea about what vegan food is sometimes. So we would just say, hey guys, we have an amazing burrito for you. We love you so much. And hand it out. Very few, most people are so grateful. A few times somebody said, hey, I eat carne asada. I'm like, okay, well, there's mushroom carne asada in there. So, if you want it, it's up to you. But for the most part, we just don't even mention it. And people are just chowing it down and can't believe how good it is. And I think it's amazing the expansion that happens with us mentally when our preconceived ideas don't get in the way. So sometimes I just don't even mention it and just let them enjoy the food for what it is: delicious, healthy food.
I think that's best. I think that's best with everyone, whether they are homeless or not, just to not tell them, just give them the food and see if they like
Yeah,
it.
let them have the experience, and then they can understand afterwards and really be blown away, because it's really hard to deny once you've had a delicious experience and that your body feels good. And then you find out, you're like, oh, okay, it's not what I thought, you know?
That is very, very cool. Susanna's commenting, you have beautiful skin, I guess, as a result
Oh,
of being vegan for 12 years.
thank you, Susanna. Yeah, I think it's been very hydrating, and there's a lot of antioxidants. So it's served me well. And I started young, because it's been a long journey now. So thank you, Susanna.
Nice. Well, everyone's saying that's really a lovely contribution to humanity. It gives people hope. So thank you for the
Oh,
work you're doing, not just in the vegan community, but the larger community.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's so important for us as vegans to branch out. And we talk about these hierarchy of needs, and when someone's base level needs aren't met, it's really hard for them to think bigger than themselves or how they could contribute positively to the world. So I really feel like, helping those of us that are the most vulnerable and are struggling is really the best thing you can do for the vegan cause. If somebody is met with love by vegans consistently, once they finally get on their feet and are strong enough, they're going to be more open to supporting a lifestyle that helped them and loved them, actually, when they were going through their hard times. So that's why I think this work is so special.
That is very, very cool. How often do you do this, just at holidays, or do you do it once a month? If somebody wanted to
Yeah,
volunteer and help you cook it,
yeah.
maybe
So
if they lived in LA?
yeah, if you live in LA and you're nearby and you want to get involved, it happens once a month, and you can go to the website and sign up to be a volunteer. And then also you can just sign up to be a donor, or you can give the gift that gives back. We have these coffee mugs and water bottles, and every time you purchase a water bottle or a coffee mug, it buys a couple meals for somebody here in Los Angeles. So that's another way to give back as well.
I'm reading your bio, and we have a passion in common. I didn't realize you studied improvisational comedy.
Oh, did you do improv?
I still do. I've been studying ever since the pandemic. All the classes went online. So I've been studying with the Groundlings and Patrick Bristow. It's my favorite. I like it even more than stand-up comedy.
Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, I did stand up as well. And I actually studied with Upright Citizens Brigade. So it's a little different than Groundlings, but very similar. Just such a fun medicine, right? Get people laughing. It's really healing.
I love improv so much. Yeah, that is so cool that we have two passions in common: cooking and improv comedy. And
I bet you're amazing.
it's so fun. Well, cooking, in a way, at least I think, is improvisational. I mean, I know everybody wants books and recipes, but I never use a recipe.
Same, same. I might look at a recipe just to get inspiration, the direction of what a certain dish goes to. But then I think it is such an improv space where you can customize the recipes to fit your own taste, and play with the spices, have fun with it.
All right. I just found the link to the Martha Project, so I'm gonna put that in the chat and the show notes.
Incredible.
See the videos. Yeah,
Incredible.
that is very
Thank
cool.
you.
Are you still doing improv? Are you performing anywhere? I'd love to see you.
That's amazing. No, so I haven't performed since the pandemic. I haven't gotten back up to it, but I did get invited to come do stand up again in July. I still don't know what theater it's going to be at, but somewhere in North Hollywood. But I'm going to be performing again, doing stand up, which to me, I did improv first, and then I went into stand up, and the stand up was a super scary thing for me, because you're just standing alone. When you're improv, you kind of have the buffer of the team. It's like the team did great, or the team kind of didn't have such a hot night. But when you do stand up, it's just you by yourself out there. So I really love the challenge of it. So I'm gonna be taking that back up in July.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Will this be an in-person show, or could people watch it virtually as well?
I'm not sure yet if it's going to be live streamed or not. That's a good question. I'll have to check in with the show organizer. That'd be great, though, if I could have my vegan team come out and laugh with me. That'd be so cute.
That is so cool. Do you cook every day, or do you do a lot of batch cooking? How do you feed yourself?
For me, I do a little meal prep. So usually on, either Sunday evening or Monday morning, I get in the kitchen and I batch out big salads. I like to eat a lot of raw salads and stuff like that, and always batch out a soup for myself, because those are grab and goes. And the morning's pretty easy. I eat some avocado and some sauteed spinach. I have some papaya if I start to feel a little energetic crash. And then that usually gets me to lunch where I have these big, beautiful, boisterous salads already prepared and my soups. So I keep it pretty simple. It's funny when I cook for clients, it's like very elaborate and all these courses, but for me, it's pretty streamlined and I'm really satisfied with that. I like eating that way.
Yeah, me too. That's great. So you're
Yeah.
going to make the shiitake
Yeah.
today.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we haven't had that recipe or any gyoza on the show. So I'm very interested in see how you do it.
Well, this is amazing. I'm ready to get started here. So I'll take you guys through it. And the ingredients are super simple for this. We have shiitake mushroom here. And you can definitely use other mushrooms if you don't have access to shiitake. I just really like the umami that these kind of offer. We're going to get into some fresh ginger. I've already grated some to just make the process, but I love fresh ginger. It adds a lot of flavor. It's anti-inflammatory, incredible. And if you do garlic, we have some garlic that's going to go in, just adds also some flavor, and some green onions. And then the shiitake wrappers, the gyoza wrappers are really simple. These are just flour and water rolled out. You can make your own at home or you can buy them in a package. Just make sure that they are vegan and that it's only flour and water. I got so lucky. I went to a special vegan restaurant last night called Vegan Glory because I had all the ingredients for the shoot except for the gyoza wrappers. And they were so sweet. They sold me theirs. So I'm so grateful to have them as a resource. They were incredible. But yeah, so to get started, I'm just going to chop up a little bit of the shiitake. And, you just want to dice this up. You just want to kind of give it a nice little dice. They sweat down and they shrink in size once the heat is going. So, you don't have to make super tiny dices. They are going to cook down. And I just love cooking with mushrooms. So full of vitamin K. Amazing. And depends how many gyoza you want to make, but I'm just gonna these shiitakes are pretty big, so I'm just chopping about 3 or 4 here. And I'll have a little bit extra for my miso soup, which is a great pairing. You just want to do a simple miso with this and a salad, you have lunch basically. So that's the cool thing about it. And I'm just going to start preheating my skillet. I'm going to get the fire going. We kind of want a medium heat here, and I have a nonstick pan so we don't have to worry about it sticking. And as it heats, I'm just going to put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan, just also to prevent these vegetables from sticking to the bottom. And today I'm going to use green onion. I think my original recipe, it calls for purple onion. Whichever you have is fine. I like the green onion. It keeps the moisture inside of the gyoza. It kind of just is really moist and it has a great flavor. But you're welcome to use purple onion, yellow onion, any savoy you have is fine. And again, these are going to cook down, so you just want to give them a rough chop. Beautiful. And so the water started to sizzle here, just a little bit of water that I put in just to prevent sticking. And that's a good time to add your mushrooms. These are really moist vegetables, so they're going to sweat too and add a little bit of moisture to the pan, which is ultimately going to become the sauciness that's inside your gyoza.
Oh,
and
I've been pronouncing it wrong. I've been pronouncing it gyoza. Say it again.
Gyoza?
Gyoza. I have been pronouncing it wrong. So,
you know what? Anytime I hear someone saying it differently than me, I always assume that they're right. So who knows? You might be right, Chef AJ. You might be right. Yeah. So we're sauteing that. I'm going to let those veggies just do their magic and cook down. And, if you see a little stickage, just go ahead and add a little bit of more water so it can simmer really nicely. And we want that toastiness that we would usually get from a sesame oil in this traditional recipe. But to avoid oil, we're just going to add toasted sesame seeds whole and put them there and just let the seeds do their magic. The whole seeds, they'll give you a nice toasty sesame flavor. And we're also going to be dropping in a couple teaspoons of fresh grated ginger. And also 2 cloves of chopped garlic. And if you're avoiding garlic, I know some meditators don't do with the garlic. I totally understand. Sometimes I avoid it too. No problem. This is delicious without it. You've got enough going on here. It's not necessary with the ginger. allowing them to shrink. And then just to build out this sauce, we're going to give a few teaspoons of coconut aminos right to the pan. And the cool thing is the mushrooms just kind of drink this up, and the kind of symphony that's made by the ginger and the garlic and the coconut aminos, it starts to create a really saucy type texture in the mushrooms. Perfect. Now, while those continue to sizzle, I'm going to get my steaming pan ready. Any pan to steam is fine. And if you have a steaming basket, like a bamboo steaming basket, you're welcome to use that for steaming the gyoza. And we'll just get that heated so it's ready for us. Incredible. So this is almost there. The last secret ingredient that we want to add to this filling is a little bit of fresh lime juice. And I love using fresh lime juice in dishes. You know, I really want to balance the salt and savory with a little bit of pucker to keep the dish alive and light and not too heavy. Of course, too, the lime juice is a nice boost of vitamin C. Just adding that to our dish. Perfect. And one trick too that I like that a lot of people don't talk about is the flavor from the juice itself is great, but also the oils in the skin are just naturally occurring. If you put that in there, you get kind of the flavor of the zest. So at the end, I just throw the whole piece of lime that I squeezed in with everything and let the flavor of the zest kind of just melt in. If you want to zest a little bit of your lime instead, you can do that. It's just an extra step, and I get the same flavor just by throwing the whole piece in the pan. Amazing. So this is starting to come together. And the last ingredient that we're going to add is this fresh spinach. I'm just going to give it a raw chop, little rough chop here. Doesn't need to be perfect. It's going to cook down a lot. And the spinach is going to add a lot of iron to your dish. It's a really great veggie. Get those dark greens in. And it's also going to keep the gyoza nice and moist. So once I put the spinach in the pan, I'm just going to cover it with a lid and allow the spinach to steam on its own for a minute. And I'm going to remove it from the heat now. And the reason why I do the spinach right at the end is I don't want to overcook and lose the nutrients. So I throw it in right at the end, just enough to wilt it. And then it would be really kind of still fresh, just barely wilted. We don't want to overcook it. We don't want to be eating a bunch of brown veggies that we've just cooked to death. You know, I really want the aliveness in the veggies still present with us. Perfect. So it's already starting to wilt. We're just going to give it a stir. And the heat from the mushrooms that we cooked down is just enough to cook this the rest of the way. Perfect. And so this combination of the mushrooms, the green onions, the sesame seeds, that's going to be the filling for our gyoza. And so heat's off now. And this came together really beautifully. So that's ready to stuff now. Nice and green, full of the shiitake mushrooms, lots of flavor in here.
You could just eat that if you wanted to.
You could just eat that. This is amazing. Sometimes I put this over just like a cauliflower rice. Incredible. Yeah, you really don't need to take it further. It's delicious on its own. But if you're having fun and you want to stuff some gyoza, I think it's great. I like to make this when I'm having a house party or a gathering. I don't really just eat these every day on my own, but it's great for guests because they end up being like little portable pockets for the vegetables. So people could get veggies in their mouth while socializing and talking. And, you know, it's just an easy way to get the veggies in. Also, if you're a brave soul and you want to add some chili peppers to the mix, you could. I have those, but I left them out today. I'm kind of chilling out on spice, but if you want more spice, you're welcome to do that as well. That's an option. So this part is the fun part, the folding of the gyoza. And I'll get close to camera so you guys can see what's going on. But you want a little bit of water off to the side. This is how we're going to seal our gyozas. And you have it just held up here. Some are in squares. Sometimes you buy gyoza, they're round. This is the wrapper. If you make your own, you can make these thin sheets. And you just want to put less than you would think, about a tablespoon of the filling right in the middle of the wrapper there. Incredible. And just like you're sealing an envelope, you get your finger wet and you're going to just put that on the outside, fold your wrapper over, and you're just going to pinch and gather the sides to create your little gyoza dumpling. And you can play with it. There's no wrong way to do it. And this is the fold here. And then you just come back around with the water at the end and give it a little pinch just to seal it. And now you've got your little veggie pocket ready to go. And if you're really into food prep, you could do this. You could batch out a couple dozen, store them in the freezer. And so they're ready to steam and bake when your guests arrive. You can just have these on the go. And I like to do that. Like sometimes I go into this gyoza production mode and I make a bunch. So I have them on hand in the freezer for when I have people over and I'm entertaining. And gyoza is an incredible way to introduce people to a vegan diet because everybody has gone out and had an amazing pot sticker gyoza dumpling. People love it. No one's going to say no to it. And it's just a great way to introduce them to what this food and what this lifestyle is. And it's a great way to get veggies in. So I'm just going to make a few more and then we'll steam up a batch. Again, just water on the outside, just like you're sealing an envelope. You fold it over. And once you have it, this is the pinch and gather technique. That's how you make those cute crimpy edges. See, really simple, pinch and gather. And it looks so fancy, you know, people feel intimidated, but it's seriously the easiest thing ever. And you just want to go back through with the water and make sure that your edges are sealed. So that way, when we cook it, we don't lose all of our beautiful stuffing. And they can get creative. I like the organic nature of these. I like that handmade look. I don't like them to look all uniform and perfect like they came out of a factory machine. So don't be hard on yourself if you feel like, you know, it's not the most beautiful fold. Just keep folding, and like the uniqueness of it, it has a beauty, you know, just like organic vegetables. They're not all uniform. They have their own expression, and just let your gyozas be fun. You don't have to have them all perfect.
Nicole, Susanna wanted to know if you were already vegan when you went to culinary school, because she would love to go to cooking school someday, but wonders about having to cook meat and dairy.
Fair. You know, Susanna, I was not vegan yet when I went. I was not yet vegan. So I did not deal with those challenges, and it really just depends on the school. And, you know, I would think that they would be supportive now. It's much more progressive, but it definitely gave me the advantage as a chef to be in the environment before I was plant-based, because now I kind of took all of those tools and I just applied them to the vegetables. So I feel grateful. I feel like my journey unfolded the way it did for a reason. But there's incredible plant-based schools everywhere too. If you just want to cut out that whole thing entirely, I think there's so many chefs that are kind of spinning off and making their own plant-based schools, and you can learn so much. I mean, here we had Matthew Kinney's school, and I know there's a great plant-based cooking school in Vegas.
Yeah, they're going to be on the show. I think it's in July. I met them somewhere recently. I think it was at the Sacramento Veg Fest. They were here. So yeah, that's so cool.
Oh.
That's culinary school.
They came on set for the show that I was just on with Be Kind, which I didn't talk about yet. But
oh, please tell everybody about it. I read about it in Veg News, but I'm not sure everybody knows about it.
Yeah, so Be Kind is launching the first ever all vegan cooking competition show called Peeled, and it's incredible. It's kind of similar to Chopped, where there's, you know, 4 chefs that are on for the entire season. And somebody gets peeled into the compost each challenge. And I'm one of the 4 chefs that was on the premiere episode, the first episode. And we're having our launch party at the end of September. It's really incredible. We're going to have a red carpet screening. And it's just been really amazing platform for, you know, vegan chefs to really showcase what they can do. It's the first ever all vegan cooking show.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to make one more, and then I'm going to show you guys how to steam these up. This is the last one. We're folding up here. And I already have my water steaming, so it's going to be pretty quick and easy. So there's an option with the cooking. These ones are fresh, so they're going to steam much faster. If you choose to freeze them, you're going to have a longer steam time, of course. But these are all ready. So I have a low steamer here. The water needs a little bit more water. This kind of cooked out. Sizzle. You want, if you're not using a steaming pan or a basket, you just want a shallow couple inches of water in your pan. And you just drop the gyoza right in. We're going to cover and allow them to steam for 6 to 7 minutes. Just let them do their thing in there. And they're going to come out like a really soft dumpling. And while they cook, I'm going to show you guys how to make an easy ponzu sauce that's incredible. But we're going to let those just steam up for a second. You can dip this in anything. I love the ponzu because it's light and clean. I use my coconut aminos. So I have the coconut aminos here, and all ponzu is your coconut aminos and lime juice, fresh lime juice. You can buy a pre-made ponzu in the grocery store, and that's fine. I think doing it fresh, it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit more natural. And you're just gonna add that directly to your coconut aminos, or if you want, you could use tamari or gluten-free soy sauce is fine as well. And it's about, depends how juicy your lime is, about 1 lime per quarter cup of tamari. Let me just get my spoon out, give it a little taste. And you want that taste that's kind of salty and also tart. Oh, that's perfect. It should get you back here, like a tangy barbecue sauce does. You should feel the tingle back here in your jaw. That's when you know you've got the right mix. And I'm going to just toss in a little bit of sesame seeds as well. And that's it. That's the really beautiful and easy dipping sauce that we can have for the gyoza as soon as they're done and ready to go. I've got my plate set up here too. I love just so fun when I eat this food. I like to just go all the way and get my chopstickers, but they're also finger food, or you guys can grab them with your fork, whatever makes you happy. Yeah, and those are just gonna steam up for a little bit, and I'll show you guys at the end. So steamed, they're really soft and juicy, and that's a great way to serve them, especially if you're avoiding all oil whatsoever. If you are allowing yourself a little bit of flexibility, I have like a really healthy kind of organic avocado nonstick, which you could spray a pan and just crisp them up at the end, just lightly. You don't need much. It's just enough so that way, they don't stick. And a good way to prevent sticking too is to make sure your pan is super hot. So as soon as you lay the gyoza down, it sears. And another option, if you don't want to use any oil at all, but you do want more of a crispy gyoza than this soft one, is to put them in the broiler at the end. So you would just put them on a flat sheet with a little bit of a lined wax paper or parchment paper, and you would just broil them so they just toast up on the outside, and that's fine too. There's many ways to achieve that crispy texture if you're avoiding oil. It's totally attainable. You just might have to go through the extra step of throwing them in the oven, and it's worth it if you want a crispy gyoza.
Nice. Lori says, has anyone told you you look like Mandy Moore?
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, you know what? Thank you. I used to get that all the time from my brother's friends back when she was super popular and all on the front line. I haven't heard it in a while though. Thank you. Oh,
funny. Yeah.
This is amazing. So these are almost done. I'll show you guys. They are close to done. The wrappers become translucent, and you can see the vegetables right through, and they'll start bubbling up. Actually, I'm going to give it just another spot of water so it cooks through. I love this dish because it's really impressive, but it comes together super fast, actually. Okay. And then don't worry if it's a little undone, you can just add a little bit more water and just steam it for another minute until it's tender. You're really just looking for a tender texture of the wrapper because the inside's already cooked. We know that we cooked it and it's all good. Unlike if people are cooking with animal products, it's like there's so much more precautions that have to be made. I feel like we have such great flexibility here with like cooking with all these clean ingredients. It's a lot safer, right?
Nicole, if you're going to freeze those, if you're going to batch prep them, do you do it before or after you've cooked them?
So I would do it before I've cooked them. So I would just fold them and then put them right in the freezer. So that way when they come, they can just like steam up. I wouldn't steam them first.
Okay.
They would have more moisture in the wrapper. So it might be icier texture once it defrosts and everything. So that's why I would just do it before the steaming. Yeah, but I love to batch it. And you guys can play with the filling too. Like during the holidays, I do the same recipe with a pumpkin filling and sage, and people freak out over it. So you can really customize this to whatever vegetables are in season and what's appropriate, time of year. You can have really fun with it. Spring season, I put peas in here, fresh peas, and people love that too. It's really a flexible base recipe. Okay. Wow. Okay. So these are beautiful. I'm going to show you guys what we have. They're all steamed up. And today I'm going to just eat them tender. It's amazing. Beautiful. That's our gyoza. So I'm going to plate these now.
They look like they're from a restaurant.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they are so pretty. Guests love it. When you put these out, I think people feel like you really, went the extra mile for them. Amazing. Perfect. Got these three on a plate, and I'm going to put my sauce in here with it. And like I said, if you had a little side salad, this could be a full meal. And I'll just garnish the tops of these gyoza with a little bit of sesame seed. And for fun, we put a little spinach salad on the side. And then you have like a full plate.
That is gorgeous. I feel like a restaurant meal.
Right? It'd be great if this comes out.
That is the plating. That's one thing about culinary school. I mean, your plating is exquisite. That makes such a difference.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like we eat with our eyes first. So sometimes these little tricks, they're worth the effort because people are already so excited to receive what they're about to taste just by taking it in visually. They're just 90% there already with you.
Wow. Everybody's asking where to get the wrappers. Do you get it exclusively like at a ethnic market or an Asian market? Or I think I've seen them even in regular grocery stores like Winco, to be honest.
Yeah, I see them at Ralph's out here. Regular grocery stores have them all the time. But for sure, an ethnic grocery store would have it. Yeah, definitely. I usually go to the Asian market here. We have HK Mart. But, even yesterday when I was trying to find them in a pinch, I looked on, what's that called? Instacart. Do you guys have Instacart?
Yeah, most people do.
Yeah, Instacart had them. I don't know where they were sourcing them, but like Instacart was like, oh, we can have it there in 2 hours.
I've seen them like Winco is like a regular kind of grocery store, and I've seen them there. They're they're refrigerated though, right, Nicole?
Refrigerated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find them in refrigerated. And just to show you guys the package, I mean, there's different brands, but it usually comes in a sealed package like this. You can see it. They almost look like deli slices or something like that, but it's just, and it's vacuum sucked. Yeah.
Do they ever make them with brown rice instead of white rice? I'm curious.
I bet if you looked online, you could find it. I'm sure that that's a thing. And I've seen someone do one from konjac,
like soy, like soy, right? Like soy flour, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, but konjac comes from this different plant. It's like the root of this plant called the devil's tongue, because there's like a flower that comes out that's literally like, but it's where we use it a lot in vegan cooking for people to make like a mock shrimp or something like that, because it's got that kind of chewy texture. But I've seen wrappers made out of it, and that would be like a really nice option if you're trying to do grain free because it's a root. So that's another option.
You said that you created Wolfgang Pucks' famous smoked salmon and caviar pizza. Is that what you did on the show, or did you do that somewhere else?
No, I did that for a different pilot that I was shooting, which we're still in the process of shopping, but we were doing plant-based remakes of Top Chef's dishes. So we did Wolfgang Puck, Roy Choi, her beautiful self from Moza. Why can't I think? Nancy Silverton. So I just did plant-based recreate. So the concept of that show is each episode is a plant-based recreate of a Top Chef's dish. And so for that pilot, I had done a remake of Wolfgang Puck's pizza.
That's not only a fabulous idea for a show, but it would be a fabulous idea just for a cookbook.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I am actually working on putting out a cookbook like that. And I like to show the pictures of the chefs with the plant-based recreate side by side. It's amazing because like the photography that we took of the pizza, it's like if you looked at it, you wouldn't be able to tell if you saw both of them in a case at, Whole Foods or somewhere. You would pick the plant-based one because it's better for the environment and better for the animals. And it's just a no-brainer. We fed the crew afterwards, which is a bunch of burly dudes that are like the camera crew. And even they were like, okay, yeah, I would pick this over. It was just better.
Right, that people are saying you're a wonderful teacher, and that and Susanna said that by the way you did the demo, you made it very doable. She felt like she could really do this recipe.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so glad to hear it, guys. It's such an honor.
Do you ever teach cooking anywhere?
So I am teaching here. We do retreats about twice a month here in Los Angeles, and they are yoga meditation retreats, and I am in charge of the food component. And we ask guests to be on a plant-based diet for at least 7 days coming into the retreat. So they're like really already clean and mentally clear. And a lot of them are kind of struggling, trying to figure out what even is this. And then I come in and feed them over the weekend. And it's just, and there's a big teaching aspect with that, where they're invited to be in the kitchen with me and help with the prep and see the meals come together. And it's been super rewarding.
Wow, that's neat. Adele says this is a fabulous recipe. Thank you. And huge well done on your nonprofit work. It's hugely inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much, Adele.
And Michelle says, thank you. It looks great. Thank you for your hard work with your nonprofit. It's a wonderful mission.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I can't wait to share the video with you guys. It's really, really heartwarming.
Yep. And Nancy asks again, what's the title of your book? If you'd like to hold it up. And
yes,
it's on Amazon for sure. I checked.
On Amazon, the Vegan Ketogenic Diet book. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. We have 75 plant-based recipes here, including desserts, salads, soups, sauces, and even like a shopping list for the pantry, what to stock up on. It's amazing. These are incredible base recipes, and and you can add carbs to them too. I always tell people, like, if you want to use this as a base recipe and throw in your whole grains and your rice, that's awesome.
Or your sweet potatoes, my favorite food.
Are you sweet potatoes? I love that.
Absolutely. Well, you sound like you're very busy with all the things that you do.
Yeah, I am super busy. I'm actually doing a huge project right now. There's a restaurant that's launching in Dubai called Plantery, and they just hired me to write 18 recipes for the launch of their restaurant. So I've been in recipe development mode this last couple of weeks. That big project's due pretty soon. So I'm so excited. People in Dubai are really coming on to this like vegan lifestyle, and really it's just very posh and metropolitan over there. So they let me create with the fanciest ingredients I could think of. There was like no expenses spared. So it was so fun for an artist just to be like, oh, wow, what are we going to put in this?
That is incredible, because tomorrow my guest is a man from Lebanon who has a vegan hospital in the Middle East.
Wow, that's amazing.
Only serves vegan food at his hospital. Isn't that cool?
Thank goodness. I wish we would do that here in LA. People would heal a lot faster. That's incredible.
Then they wouldn't have the repeat business, you know.
I get it. So cringy.
Well, wow. You're just really a wonderful artist, really. I mean, culinary artist. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And please make sure you get me more show notes, because right now I just have your bio. I'd love to link to your book and to your nonprofit and anything else you do, your retreats. Mona says, is your book also available at Barnes & Noble?
It is at Barnes & Noble, yes. And I believe also at Target. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I'm so excited for my next books to come out that I'm already in the process of writing. The one that we talked about with the show, but I also have another one that's a little sassy, which you would appreciate, Chef AJ, with your comedy background. It's called Kiss My Kale, a plant-based guide to doing it better.
I love that title, Kiss My Kale. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
Marlene is saying, how long is your retreat and how can she learn more about it?
So the retreats are just only just weekend retreats right now. So they go from Friday until Sunday. And we'll link to my Instagram so you can message me directly and can get you on the invite list. Right now they're small and curated. If you're in Los Angeles, we only have space for 30 people each time, but they're incredible. And sometimes we do all women's retreats, and sometimes we do like an open to everybody retreat. But it's by invite, so I would have to get you on my mailing list. But if you link to my Instagram and just direct message me there, I can get you on the list.
That's great. Do you ever use balsamic vinegar in your cooking?
Sometimes I do. Yes. Yeah.
Because you get 2 free bottles of California balsamic in the flavors of your choice just by being a guest on Chef AJ Live.
Ah, thank you, Chef AJ. That's
my
awesome.
pleasure. Well, you can thank Thomas Allen, who's watching live, for generously sponsoring this show. Yeah, they have lots of different flavors. And they have a ginger flavor that might go perfect with this recipe. Like,
that would be incredible. I could see using the balsamic instead of the lime juice to bring that sweet and tart out. That would probably be really delicious, actually.
Yeah, well, you'll let us know. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. This was a wonderful
presentation. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been an honor, and so much love to you and to all of our guests. Thank you guys for chiming in, and thank you for supporting the planet with your plant-based lifestyle. You're amazing.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see the show. That sounds fantastic. Peeled, everybody. So keep your eyes peeled for when it comes out, because you don't know yet exactly where it's going to air. Is that correct?
No, we don't have official launch date or network yet, but we should know by the red carpet in September when we have our first screening. So if you follow Peeled on Instagram, they are going to be giving all the updates there. And also, if you follow me, I'm going to be updating too, so everyone knows where to catch us.
Nice. Oh, Jesse's saying the teriyaki balsamic vinegar would also be good with the recipe you made today as well.
Okay, Jesse, I'm salivating now. That sounds so good.
You're adorable. Well, thank you so much, Nicole.
Oh, thank you so much, Chef AJ. You guys have such a great day.
Okay, take care. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back at 2 p.m. Pacific time today when my guest is Dr. Robert Breeke. He's a medical doctor. So if you have those questions, please send them in advance. I forgot to ask you, I know you have such a healthy lifestyle. What do you do for exercise if you do exercise?
Oh, I do exercise, and it's varied because I like to just keep my body guessing. So I go on hikes for sure, get my nature time. I do spin class. And I do yoga. I do yoga every once in a while. I'll do a HIIT class, which is, with the weights and stuff. It's fun. But yoga and spin is my everything. Spin is incredible. So I usually do 3 spin classes a week.
I spin every day. I finally got my own bike. I was tired of fighting for a parking space.
Good for you. Which one did you get?
I got the Kaiser because, I didn't need to see anything. So I didn't get the Peloton, and it's just,
okay.
Working out really good. We've had it for years, and actually ended up being cheaper than the gym membership long term. So it worked out good.
Who knew? That's amazing. Yeah. I bet you're going to use it so much more now because it's just right there.
We both use, and especially during the pandemic, you couldn't even go to a gym. So it was a lifesaver. Oh, Rebecca says, what style yoga do you do?
Oh, so I do there's a yoga flow, and also Kundalini, which is a big one for me. Kundalini is so incredible for brain function. People healing from PTSD or to ward off Alzheimer's. It's a lot of breath work and movement that stimulates the brain. So I love Kundalini.
Nice. I do something called yin yoga. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, I love yin. My boyfriend's actually a yoga instructor, and he's so into yin.
Yeah, me too. Right. Well, anyway, congratulations on all your hard work and all your endeavors. And I can't wait to see your next books, and especially that show. Sounds incredible.
Can't wait. Thank you so much, Chef AJ.
Thank you, Nicole. And take care of